Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. This is Monday, August 21st. Any questions, concerns, comments, come to this podium here. Give us your name and address and tell us what's on your mind. I'll get a roll call, please.
Peter?
Here.
Fowler?
Here.
Lupa?
Here.
Report?
Here.
Paul?
Present.
Both?
Here.
Councilmember Watt is absent this evening.
Make a motion to excuse Councilmember Watt.
Motion made, support, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda number 4, City Council minutes of August 7th, 2023, special and regular meetings, recommendation approved. The Golf Commission minutes of July 11th, 2023, meeting recommendation received. Planning Commission minutes of July 12th, 2023, meeting recommendation received.
Motion to approve A through C as presented.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have no entered ordinances and resolutions. Reports of administration, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you. I would like to first start out by saying a thank you to City Clerk Annette Sturdy. So for the last 2 weeks, she has been fully focused on insurance claims throughout the city. This is the water treatment plant, which will require a roof replacement. These are dealing with city-owned vehicles as well. And so seeing the exchange between Annette and our adjusters, contractors, and the meetings that she's called, hats off. Excellent job. You've done a ton of work on that, and it's noticed.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk a little bit about the bike path on Clinton. Wanted to have a conversation about that, and I will say, thank you, Phil, appreciate it. Came in the office, and we had a discussion about not only the bike path, where it's proposed to go, but troubleshooting it. What are some of the things that we've learned in the past years about laying a sidewalk, tearing it up, utilities, retaining walls? So we went over it, and I appreciate you coming in and spending the time with me and showing me the history. You did a really nice job documenting that entire project before, where they did the stamped concrete, and I appreciate you coming in and sharing that information with me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. I did have a follow-up conversation with our contractors. The bid had been sent out. The bid had been accepted, and I talked with Mr. Ryan Kern from AEW, and I said, okay, FYI, here's the laundry list from the community, and these are the things that we're concerned about. One major being utility placement. Are they coming underground? There are poles in line. Has that utility orders been put in to make sure that those are put underground? And the answers all came back in the affirmative. So I can check that off the box. The utilities are going to be in place. We talked about the grade and the steepness coming down from driveways into the road, and if it's going to be safe and if it's going to be manageable by young mothers with strollers or dads walking their kids. Yes, the degree which the grade will be is taken into consideration based on the last time that they did it. With that all being said, they have asked for a pre-construction meeting that will be with Body Construction. That is scheduled, and that is occurring at the end of this week. We'll have a better idea of more permanent times, dates, and places for construction. So we'll have a better update after this Friday.
That's still happening this fall?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Quick update about the roads. If you've seen, North Delano has been milled. That is going to actually be, the first top's going to go down on Wednesday. Thursday, they should be having the final course with the Delano project. And if you hear from any resident on Delano, please let them know we've called and we will have it adjusted that the approaches to their driveway, there's typically a wedge of asphalt that's built into the driveway that allows for vehicles to come in and out off the road in a more seamless fashion. There was one resident, unfortunately, came off the wedge, and their muffler basically accordioned up. Okay, we contacted AEW. They contacted the construction company. Not only has that been adjusted, but they will have their muffler replaced. And I think that was important to note because of the timing of when we called and when something got done about it. Okay. Other than that, we should be seeing things, Bard, Royal, Waterloo, Robinson. These are all those scheduled local street projects that are underway, being milled, and these are going to be taken care of here in the next 2 weeks. The real gear up is going to be a break of about 2 weeks between when they wrap up what's going on the northern streets, and then they prepare to do 4th and 5th Street. They have one job to do before they get to 4th and 5th Street, so you'll see everybody leave town, and about a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they're coming back, and they're going to be milling and laying 4th and 5th Street within a 2-week time period. Notices will be going out to residents about staying off the roads and making arrangement to park on the side streets. And it's going to be nice. We're going to have a lot of new blacktop in the center of town. With that being said, there is a sidewalk conversation that's being had right now. I stopped at 11:30 today to attend a Blue Meets Green meeting. This is a meeting of community leaders and organizers countywide. Miss Liz King was there. She gave a report on the health department. They have some new things happening. They're going to be moving the county health department from where it's currently at in 2 years' time and moving it into the administration building. At that time, she had mentioned that there's going to be a survey going around for St. Clair County in general. This is a survey to talk about mental health. It's talking about safety. It's talking about childhood obesity. And at that moment, I had asked, would a sidewalk contribute to reducing childhood obesity? Trying to tie the two together, right? So you have a walkable lane and it being around a school. And she said, that's very interesting and creative. And I said, well, is there money tied to it? Is there something that we can parlay together? And funny enough, she said that the Michigan Endowment Fund and there's other resources that we can take a look at. The more and more we talk about it, the more and more interest gets brought up on it. I think it's a matter of having the right amount of engineering and surveying and making sure that it's the right plan in place and then taking a very strategic plan to getting it done. And I think that there's some other councilmen that'd like to talk about that in further detail, and happy to take on any questions and come up with a laundry list of things to research. But I think it's one of those future projects, if not a year, shortly after.
Should we talk now or wait till the end?
That I'm wrapped up with my report. So if you'd like to.
Well, I guess my only question then is something regarding the Cox Road. I mean, that's the road that in the city has been, I mean, in my opinion, neglected for need of a sidewalk. And it's been for years, and we've approached it from lots of different angles. I've met with county officials, I've met with school district officials. The city seems to be the one entity that has any interest in getting something done, in my opinion, our city. And so I would like to see a proposal put in front of us that we can either vote yes or vote no on, and use some of the fund balance that we have to make that street right. It deserves a sidewalk, even if you're just a resident on that street on Cox Road on the east side, right? So many of our residents have a lovely sidewalk in front of their house or across the road, but no one on Cox Road has any sidewalk at all. Add into that, it's a school. We're getting a sidewalk to a school. I think the cost should be, I would like to see the cost. I would like to see what it's going to take to get it done on the east side, from Vine to Clinton.
Yeah, is that something that ARP funding?
Yeah, I mean,
Fine,
2%
good.
for public safety seems like a perfect way to spend some of that money to me.
It's a qualifier, yes.
That corner there is going to be worse and worse as we get more buses going to that corner. Clinton and Cox is going to be a busier intersection than it's ever been before, and it's already bad at a couple times a day.
Is the west side of the road out of the question, even if nobody else wants to fund it?
It's, I mean, we
I mean,
can
will the
offer to pay for a sidewalk on the west side of the street. I'm sure that many of those people would take
we
it.
just took a ride down there recently, and we were looking at the west side compared to the east side. So many less driveways on the west side. The ditches are so much shallower on the west side. Less roads to cross on the west side.
Yep.
And then people coming from the west side to the sidewalk would have to cross at least twice to get to school if they wanted to walk safely to school on the east side. It just makes a lot more sense to put it on the west side. And I'm not against the sidewalk at all.
Right, I
think
understand
the
that. And I
sidewalk
agree
is
with the
definitely
ease
necessary.
of the west side also. But I feel like it's if we're going to pay for it, we should put it in the city.
Right.
I agree there should be a sidewalk there, but I think we need to move carefully and get some input from, and I think we do need to get back to the table with the county, St. Clair Township, and the Eastern School District, because there's a Safe Pathways to School grants out there.
Yes, we've looked into it. Mitch and I attended a
did.
workshop about it, and it has to be school district led.
Right, and I know they don't want to do that, but my
Correct.
question to Suzanne Sabula is this: if you don't want to, we'll fill the grant out, you just assign it. If we can get money to build this thing, because I agree with Mitch. Think about, I drove that road, just like you, 25 years, every morning, every night. Those kids they walk on the west side. They come out of the trailer park, they turn right, go to the school.
Yep.
If you build it on the east side, those kids are gonna, if they'll cross the street, I think they'll stay on the other side and still walk on the west side.
There's a
But
chance.
If we get them to cross the street and come to the east side, they cross the road once, they go down the sidewalk, they cross the road again to get to the high school. Now they cross the road twice.
And one of them's gonna be at an intersection of Cox and Clinton.
That's where the cross currently is.
Right.
I don't know that it should be there for the long
No,
term.
they should be on the west side of the road where they don't even have to cross that intersection.
I guess my point is the waiting that has gotten us to the point where we're all frustrated with it.
Well, but realize we've got 2
Oh, for
years
sure.
before Gearing closes down and all that movement happens.
Right, and I'm telling you, it's going to take at least 2 years to do that grant funding process.
But it might be worth doing it though.
Maybe.
And if we put that sidewalk
We
on the
tried.
west side of the street,
Quentin and I have taken it to them, and I've talked to 2 different principals, a superintendent. It has gone basically nowhere.
I get that, but maybe it's just a matter of we got to stay with it. Because if we go on
Do
the
we
west
even-
side of the street,
Yeah, do we even know?
we might be able to get the county's help because that's a county road.
Mm-hmm.
St. Clair Township, maybe, in the school district, if we
If we
get
get one of them
move
to
on
help,
it.
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess I've lost my faith in the ability to get those folks to come to the table and contribute anything except words.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea how much that's gonna cost on the east side compared to the west side? Because that east side's got ditches,
What if
5?
it was less than $100,000 to put it from Vine to Clinton in the city of St. Clair and just have a nice concrete sidewalk the whole way?
Less than $100,000?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Okay? So, I mean, we have a
Do
number
we
that
know
we
that's
would at
less
least
than 100?
consider, right? Let's get a number from administration to see what it would cost to us to do it. So we've done our due diligence at the very least in this city of saying, we put in a sidewalk on our side. You do something on your side too and make it safe for everybody.
Right.
We're, from Clinton to Woodland Estates, we're under 100,000. Just
That's
on that alone.
engineering.
And that's engineering, survey, staking. We actually have a quote from a contractor from Clinton just to the north side of Woodland Estates for $70,000. Now, if you're going to Woodland Estates, I would recommend taking it all the way up to Vine. One, it makes a loop,
Right.
and that's a very cool feature to have a continuous loop that encircles the entire city. I mean, that's
I agree.
My only
neat
question
feature.
is you got those ditches that are so deep on the east side of the road, that's gonna be costing probably more than the sidewalk to fill and reroute all that drain water.
there is some work to be done, especially putting in the conduit and.
Because I don't
Yeah,
think
throw
the cost, I question the cost of the sidewalk, it's preparing for that sidewalk.
Yeah.
Because that sidewalk on the east side of the road is gonna be so close to the road, if we don't touch those ditches, we're gonna have to touch
No,
those
it's
ditches.
going to go on, yes, exactly.
Right, so I mean, I think that's where the bulk of the cost on that side of the road would be compared to the west side of the road, which I think would be substantially
But
cheaper.
wouldn't you like to see the drawings and the price?
I would love to see them, yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I'm not against at all
I wanna see
exploring
the
the options.
drawings and the price.
Right, I'm with
I
you on
want that, but what I also want to know is I want to know that what we're going to do is actually a safety improvement, because if we put it, to me.
It's going to improve it for our residents regardless, because anybody that walks from Woodlands and all those houses that are coming in on that subdivision, those are almost all going to be walkers to that school.
Well,
6,
based on the
12.
conversation today, it sounds like there should be a one on both sides.
Yes.
So if we can at least do our city's responsibility and get one moving on one side, chase the other side, and we end up with two, life would be pretty good.
And that's why I think we need to approach this really wisely, and if we can get, let's get what will really make it safer. And if we need to go to the community foundation, the ARPA funds, if we need to go to the township, the school district, maybe we just got to keep beating on them.
Can we get a
Usually I
cost
say it like
analysis on
that,
both
but-
sides of the road? I mean, what's the cost on something like that?
Exactly. Let's
So
see it.
I'm going to create a proposal. I'll work with AEW to tell me what it was going to cost for an east side path and a west side path,
Yep.
based on engineering, survey, staking. And then we'll work with the contractor and say, give us a
I mean,
east
let's-
side and west side price, and we'll know.
Let's say the
ballpark.
west side of the road is $50,000 less due to the amount of preparation for it, and we just get the okay to put it on the west side, and we just pay for it. I'm not against that either. You know,
I'll find out. I'll put
yeah.
together a proposal.
Thank you.
If it's on the city side, it would be the city that maintains it. If it's not on the city side, we have to hand off maintenance to somebody else, I'm sure.
All right. I mean, that's just everything we have to figure out though, right?
Yep.
I mean, I like options.
Yeah.
Okay, that was under your part.
Well, you've only covered ground.
Anything else from Quentin?
I guess I can ask him one more question while I'm at it here. This is something that's come up from residents, and it's become a concern to me. I'm seeing more and more, we could call them Airbnbs, VRBOs. I wonder about what kind of inspection or ordinance we have in place for those residences that are becoming commercial enterprises. And at what point do they become, where should we enter into this? And I think it's a little bit philosophical for us as a board, but also something we should get ahead of because it's coming to more and more municipalities.
also-
And it's wonderful that people want to come to St. Clair, but I know your hotel rooms and the St. Clair Inn have to be inspected and maintain a certain level of quality and experience when they go to that. You have hotel rooms at Murphy's, don't you? Right? I mean, we should expect that these kind of places have some sort of, I don't know that it's ordinance. There should be something in place that we as a city have considered before these are propagating around every
What are
neighborhood
the
in the
tax
city.
implications on people doing it seasonally on their own home? Because they're going to Florida, now they're like, so which one's being homesteaded, which one's not? What
Right.
are the taxes, what are they, like?
I agree. I do see a lot of that coming into town.
Yeah, in planning's last meeting, there's a note in the minutes that we talked about it too. Because
Maybe
there are
Jim can
quite
clear
a
this up,
few.
but I'm pretty certain that as we speak, the state legislature is creating legislation about Airbnbs and VRBOs or whatever.
They are, yeah.
Yep. Legislation right now is actually stalled in the Senate. They classify them as short-term rentals and everything that you mentioned and what makes a short-term rental. So for our purposes right now, we don't have any language that regulates those accommodations built into our ordinance 1. However, the building department does require a rental registration. So we've identified them. So we have the identification of Airbnbs or short-term rentals.
Okay.
So we at least know where to start once legislation catches up to
Yeah.
where we're at.
And I'm not against them being in our city. I think they're wonderful opportunities and great to have in the city. It means people want to come here, right? I think that's great. But I just think we should have some plans in place to make sure that they're
I agree.
dealt correctly with. Thank you.
Mr. Downey, you got anything tonight?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Anything for Mr. Downey? Okay, Annette, what do you got?
Yes, I have one announcement, comment, and two things just to inform council of. Special events, elections, and property liability insurance renewal. This was the first year that the St. Clair Art Fair and Jazz Fest were combined on the same weekend, and the first time the road was closed. And even with the last-minute change from MDOT of the M29 concrete work, the weekend was amazing. Thank you to both Art Association members, fellow Jazz Fest committee volunteers, and also DPW, St. Clair Police Department, St. Clair Fire Department. It was a pleasure to work with everyone, and everyone should be very proud of the collaboration for the weekend. The weather was perfect, and it really was just great. We have a little break with special events, but St. Clair Chamber of Commerce Halloween nights will be here before we know it. For elections, I'll be attending the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Education Day next week, which includes implementation guidance on the new laws associated with Proposal 22-2, specifically the new mandate of early voting. That voter-approved proposal requires 9 days of early voting and prepaid postage on absent voter applications and ballots. And local election administrators have been questioning how these mandates will be funded and how to manage staffing requirements, among a lot of other questions. So I'm hopeful to have some of these answers after the seminars and legislative update of next week. Conversations have also been ongoing with the county clerk's office regarding a potential early voting center option. This would be a central location for multiple municipalities to all go to one place for early voting, for the 9 days of early voting. As of right now, I'm open to the idea, but I'm leaning towards in-house precincts. And I'll continue to keep council and voters updated on that. And lastly, property and liability insurance renewal. It is time for the annual property and liability insurance renewal process. The city is currently part of the MML pool. However, last year's renewal approval included the request for proposals be put out to bid this year, so know that that is in process with 3 potential bidders, and proposals will be presented to council prior to the 9/30 deadline. I'm hopeful to have them all received by the first meeting in September, but they will absolutely be received by the 9/18 meeting for your consideration there. And that's all been keeping me pretty busy, so that's all I have for tonight.
All right, thank you. Any other departments? All right, D, Authority Board Commissions, Committee Chairman, Council Reps, anybody have anything? no unfinished business. We'll go to new business number 8, schedule annual public hearing. I believe they're asking for on September 30th. We'll do a 7 o'clock public hearing for our budget.
September 5th?
September 5th.
Approved by, yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah.
You had me
Meeting,
panic for a minute.
September 5th, 7 o'clock, Tuesday. Our next meeting. We have to approve the budget before September 5th. Okay, so, I guess so.
Yes.
Make it official, sure.
So moved. Support.
All right, the motion made, supported to set the budget public hearing for Tuesday, September 5th at 7 PM. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Is this a good time to acknowledge the workshop before that?
we'll do the workshop at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, September 5th.
Thank you.
So moved. Or do you need,
No, we don't need a motion for that, do
Second.
we? No.
do you need them? No? Okay, never mind.
All right, thanks. Okay, so we set the public hearing and the workshop. Both of those are that September 5th meeting, Tuesday, the day after Labor Day. All right, B, approved proposal for professional services for 2023 local street projects. Mr. Bishop.
This is just a professional services proposal from AEW, and this is to do the inspection of our local street projects. We want to ensure that not only the asphalt is, the milling, the depth of the milling, the grade of the asphalt, the depth of the asphalt is inspected. So we're just finalizing the contract for AEW to take care of all that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does the 24.5 that's being used, that's for the Christian B. Haas section of it, correct? Am I reading that correctly?
I guess 3rd and J, I think.
I thought there was a section that was on Christian B. Haas here.
We did that
Two
last week, I
separate bids
believe.
were received, so this is for just the other section, 3rd and J?
In addition, the city proposes completion, removal construction.
See, it says 2 separate bids, one for Christian B. Haas. My question was if that's, if we're using some of that, should some of that money be rolled into the special assessment? Can it be paid for with that?
Oh. No, the special assessment language was specifically for the construction cost.
Okay. All right, that's my only question.
So we are going to do 3rd and J this year? Is that what I'm seeing? Intersection there?
3rd and Adams. it's
Third
already
and-
done.
Yes, that's,
Third and Adams was completed.
Right,
this is,
this says J, so we're not doing 3rd and J. I mean, I think we were, but,
I
That's a
think,
typo?
I think it's,
All right.
I think it's supposed to be Adams.
all right. And then, okay. So you're looking for a motion to approve the services for the,
For construction administration, or inspection services.
I'll make that motion.
As amended for Adams.
As amended.
do I have a support?
Supported.
All right, the motion made, support, questions? All right, call the roll, please.
Bowles?
Yes.
Gatler?
Yes.
Kufa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Hall?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. B, approve Metro Act right-of-way permit extension. Mr. Bishop.
Mr. Don, I hate to put you on the spot like this. Are you familiar with the Metro Act?
Yes.
Could you pick up on that?
Yes,
Thanks.
sure. Metro Act, state law passed early 2000s, maybe 2002. It was for the purpose of allowing telecommunications companies the opportunity to essentially cut red tape to get their lines put through municipalities with greater ease. And it's not really just the phone lines we think of, like hard lines, but really high-speed internet. And so anyway, telecommunications companies have the right under the Metro Act to contract with local municipalities, in this case, City of St. Clair, to ensure that they have the use of the Metro Act. But these agreements are not open-ended. They're bound by a term of years. And as I understand it in reading the materials that were presented to the city, AT&T, one of the consumers under the Metro Act, their contract with the city is due to expire. So they're simply requesting that they be permitted to continue operations within the city per the state law.
So do we have multiple of these in my?
My guess is yes. I don't have that off the tip of
All
my
right, just,
tongue, but
it's
yeah.
not just, this isn't an exclusive rights thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
anybody that
Anybody.
would lay line for, although I'm wondering with AT&T whether other companies might be able to just sort of piggyback onto their line. It's a good
Okay.
question.
All
I
right.
don't know.
Just wondering. Well, I'll make the motion to approve.
Support.
Questions?
Bill Claim at 1374 South Riverside. I take it this is a yearly agreement?
5 years.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
Is there a fee involved with it?
There's not one listed.
I do not know that answer.
Because if you do dig in the city right away, you need a permit, correct?
Yes.
I just wonder if there's a annual fee that they're paying in lieu of a permit every time they come into town?
I don't know the answer to that, Mr. Kleeman. I think that is governed by the state law, though.
But still, if they dig in the city right away, there's have to be a permit issued, and there's a cost to the permit. That's my question.
Again, and to your point, they may have to pay a fee in order to avail themselves of the rights under the, I think that's spelled out in the statute.
I'm just curious on what the fee is that the city's charging them.
I think that it's set by statute, but I'll get an answer to that.
I got you covered, Mr. Downey.
Okay.
So within the general fund, the metro right-of-way revenue that's generated from this, in 2019-20, we came in just under 22,000. 2021 was 22,000. 21-22 was 23,000. And we're anticipated to see $23,345 from these metro right-of-way revenues.
That's it, for just for the
Correct.
AT&T. So you telling me that
No, not for the breakout. Total revenues
that's
for
total
those
revenue for all right-of-way permits,
under the Metro Act.
the Metro Act. So who falls under the Metro Act? Just AT&T Communication? Because you got the gas company that comes in town. You have a lot of different contractors digging in the right-of-way.
That's different. Metro Act is specifically about telecommunication companies.
Okay,
So if there
so
would be another one, AT&T, you'd be thinking of things like Comcast, Verizon,
T-Mobile.
right? And especially those who run fiber lines. Those are those who are most affected by the Metro Act.
I say you don't see them in town often. I'm just curious if there's a fee that they pay to, because everybody else digs in the right-of-way has
Yeah,
to.
we see just north of $23,000 a year based on the Metro Act revenues.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, D, special event, St. Clair High School Homecoming Parade, Chief.
Mayor, Council, I have received a request from the high school for their annual homecoming parade on Sunday, September 17th at 3:30. I recommend that we approve it.
Chief, the parade will be at 5, the lineup will be at 3:30.
Oh, 5.
It's correct in here, but
Supported.
Any questions?
I moved. He supported.
Thank you.
Yep. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Chief, special event, St. Clair Library Author Fest.
I have a request from the library for their annual Author Fest on October 14th, a Saturday, 10 a.m.
motion to approve.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Chief. Number 9 is claimed to the council, August 10, August 17, 2023.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
Questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public, wait, I'm sorry, yeah. Public comment and question. Anybody have any non-agenda items they want to talk about tonight? Kehoe?
Hello, Mark Kehoe, 524 North 6th Street. Glad I came early. I found out where to get some less expensive soda pop at the golf course. And really, you've addressed my two comments I wanted to make tonight. First, the Cox Road situation. I'm glad to see that's still being worked on, and if any way I can help as a citizen, parent, my last of 9 children is attending St. Clair High, so still got a vested interest in that. I'm glad to see that's still ongoing. The other one is the city streets. I appreciate the work that's going on. I just had a question about, is there like a master plan, 5 or 10 years, to address most, if not all, the streets in town?
Yes, there is.
Okay, great. I know there are some streets that aren't paved, and maybe that's at the request of the residents on those streets, but that was always just a curiosity to me. So, but again, I just want to thank the council for your service. I hope to hopefully attend some more of these meetings in the future. So, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Take care. Anybody else, public comments, questions, things?
Phil Lundman, corner 9th and Clinton, 902 Clinton to be exact. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Bishop for the kind words. We had a very nice meeting, I thought. I've spoke about this once before, and I even mentioned Mr. Bishop. I brought it up during the meeting. Again, the corner of Cedar and 10th. Boy, I got my streets all goofed up tonight. Corner of Cedar and 10th. That street is kind of getting overrun with sand, gravel. I bring the evidence tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Those of you that haven't seen that area lately.
Is that the erosion?
Yes, it is.
Thank
you. Getting worse. And just for the record, my son has gone out and cleaned it up a couple times because he lives on that corner, so I guess we have a mutual respect for wanting to get that corner taken care of anyway. But it's one that you should be aware of if you haven't gone down there. When I went to take that picture, I tried to stop my truck, and it rolled on those stones on the pavement. We're looking for an accident there, sooner or later. If a motorcycle goes down there and he's not careful, he's going to dump. It's treacherous, it really is. And that mud is slick. So for what it's worth, I'd like for you to take a look at it and see what you think. Any questions of me with that one?
I drove over the last time you came. I drove over there. I'm going to go over again.
Did you? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Well, it's getting, it gets cleaned up every once in a while by my son, but he's not on your payroll, so
Yeah.
maybe he should be. I don't know. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Anybody else? Go to number 11, Mayor and City Council comments and announcements. I too will echo Ms. Sturdy's thoughts on the jazz and the art fairs. It was just an unbelievable weekend for the city of St. Clair. And then the Turtle Race too on Sunday afternoon. There was a lot of good stuff happening around downtown. A lot of people commenting how cool stuff is.
Yeah, probably the one thing we wanted to add publicly is there's obviously the plaza's going underneath a lot of work coming from the insurance and storm complexes. Many businesses have temporarily relocated or have shut down. Many of them are still open and still fighting and working to service the community. So if you have the ability, stop in, see who's still there, and take a look at what they're doing out of support.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hearing nothing else, Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And a belated happy birthday to Chris Paul.
Birthday month.